There we are. Hey guys, welcome to the Mañana no Mas morning check-in. This is Kurt Van Onen, your host of Mañana no Mas, all things Mañana no Mas online. And oh, there we go. Hold on, let me turn off that sound for you. There we go. Get rid of that feedback. And man, it's another good day in the shop. I've got Hayden with me again. He's working on his science project. Got up early today, and it kind of got me all fired up for the day. So I have a client. So I have a power sports client that I do some coaching with, and I help him out. And I focus on fixed operations, and he's pretty new in the system. So so if you've ever taught someone how to ride a motorcycle, taught someone how to ride a bicycle, taught someone how to ski, you know that moment where you see the lights come on, right? Like a recognition of, oh, that's how you do this. Well, the same thing happens when you're training people in a corporate environment. So I set up the training online to be, and then I back it up with live meetings. But as they go through the training, they start with like how to communicate, right? How to recognize body language, how to overcome objections, how to build a team with multiple personality types, right? And so all of this happens as kind of a, as a precursor to the actual, logistics of running a service department. And so sometimes at the beginning, people will go, it's a lot of feel good stuff, but where's the results? Like, where's the results? And this happens pretty quickly, but still, in today's society, people are like, where are my results? Well, today we're doing the live support call, and I asked a couple of questions, like a coach would do. I said, well, what about this? What about that? And then what do you think would be a good solution for this? I said, okay, well, let's do the math and let's figure this out. And remember, this is a person that's fairly new in the system. It's a fairly small dealership, even though they've got multiple brands. And pretty readily, we were able to say, okay, if you change this one thing at the service counter and you change this one thing in the shop, let's blow those numbers out. And so I said, well, this is how much, you would get back in a day. This is how much you would get back in a week. So if we take what you would get back in parts and labor sales for a week, and we say, how much would that generate a month? And then how much would that generate in a year? This is the type of information you can take back to your dealer principal, the owner of the shop, and say, hey, this is what I would like to implement. And this is what I feel might be, the benefit to implementing this thing. And so today we came up with about $245,000 that this shop can recoup in lost sales opportunities. Now, what I find interesting is a lot of people would say, oh, well, that's fairy tales numbers. Those are fairy tales. You're never going to get that. They already have it, right? If they have a 2 to 3 week backlog of getting people into the shop, they have a waiting list of people waiting to get services done, and you increase efficiency and productivity to account for that waiting list, and you take people in a more ready scenario, not only do you already have the work immediately to make money with, but by taking care of people in a quicker fashion, you make room for additional clients to come in. And do you think people are going to be happier or less happy through the process? Well, they're going to be happier, right? So if you elevate customer satisfaction and build your business based on organic referrals, you're going to continue to have more work, right? So this whole idea of people talking about, well, that's my piece of the pie, my piece of, that's their piece of the pie. That's just bake more pies, man. Just bake more pies. And that's kind of what our talk was about today. And I'm excited to see what kind of results they can get out of those two simple things. Now, like I said, this is at the very beginning of this business, right? So by the time we get through a year of training, we might see $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 in increased parts and labor opportunities. So if that's the kind of impact we're going to have on a small shop, I'm really excited to see what kind of impact we're going to have on these bigger shops. I know that when I was restricted to a 2-day workshop, at the OEM distributor level, we saw a 47% increase in parts and labor sales, by participating dealers. And so I'm using that as kind of a barometer, right? And I'm saying, okay, if I know that I worked with people for 2 days and I was able to get a 47% increase in parts and labor sales, average, well, then I'm hoping, and I'm betting that as I spend more and more time with people, as they have access to the curriculum for a year and live coaching biweekly for a year, my assumption is that we will see a much better growth percentage than 47%. So I'm really excited to see how this shapes up and how Mañana No Mas grows and adds dealers to the network. So I know that this sounds like a Mañana No Mas commercial for power sports training, but today it kind of is because, the fruit's coming. And so, when you plant the seed, you plant the seed, you plant the seed, and you're waiting for the harvest. It's exciting when that harvest starts to make itself present and you can reach up and pluck stuff, right? And then they talk about low hanging fruit. So let's go after that low hanging fruit and let's make some money. And so that's a really cool thing. And all this is done ethically without alienating the customer, with increasing the morale inside the shop and reducing employee turnover. So the whole key, right, is using this John Maxwell philosophy that I've learned for business and applying it directly to the power sports and marine industries, where quite honestly, that industry, that niche has had very little influence over like specific business type training in this regard. So other companies, they might give service training based on spreadsheets or looking at your warranty numbers or something like that. But my angle is, if we focus on the people, if we focus on communication, if we focus on those areas, the growth in the other areas is going to come true. So that wraps it up for me today. I hope that you are having a fantastic Friday, that you'll have a killer weekend. I know that I plan on finishing up that duck and then getting some cyclocross riding in. And beyond that, man, I'm just looking forward to spending some time with family. I hope that you get the same. I know the COVID thing has a lot of folks down. I know that there's a lot of craziness going on. But, at the end of the day, and this is a realization I've made for myself, at the end of the day, I still have to figure out how I'm going to provide for my family, and I can make my decisions known when it's time to vote, right? So those are the two main things that I can have impact with, right? Providing for my family and know that I can make my voice heard when I vote. Other than that, I'm really just a small cog. I'm a grain of sand in this whole beach, right? As far as making wholesale changes with protests or COVID or any of these other things going on. So I hope that you also focus on making the best of what you've got given to you at this time, and that you can move closer and closer to getting to your goals. If you have any questions for me, concerns, whatever, that are in the Mañana No Mas Academy, or it's something that you might hear in the Mañana No Mas podcasts, by all means, man, reach out. Hit the contact link at the top of the page on mañananomas.com, and I'll get in touch with you. That stuff comes direct to me. So love to hear from you. Have yourself a great day. Enjoy the weekend, and stay motivated. All right. Bye-bye.